Hiya, she's Kate Lavagna.
And she's Kaysha Louvain. And this is Tea for Two.
Us, you, and a brew. Should we have a cuppa?
Yeah. Should
we
tell him the truth?
I think... Shall we?
Shall we?
Go on then,
Come
we'll tell them the truth.
I'm really sorry to say that I've made a massive pot of coffee because we just can't keep it up anymore. Which is odd because people would think that was because of the caffeine, but it's just the taste.
It's the taste, yeah, of tea. That's lovely, thank you very much.
Why are you taking your mug away from me?
Because I'm like,
you're like, too much.
The thing is, once you've had like 2 or 3 cups of tea, that's what she said.
Oi.
Once you've had a few...
The kids are gone.
The kids are gone. Oh, there were so many inappropriate jokes. I'll have all that milk now.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
No, there's enough.
I want all that. Oh, my God. Oh, are you serious?
I'm really sorry. I didn't think about that then, did I? No, stir it with my spoon. It's like tar. Do you want to carry on talking and I'll go and get some more milk?
No.
Okay.
We're all right. I'll manage. It ain't going to hurt.
I love that you're going to actually drink that because you can't be bothered to edit out me trying to get out of this table to go and get some milk.
Because it'll be bang, 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 bang.
Where's
Stop.
the milk? In the fridge, obviously. Thank you. That means we've started now. This is our
Something like that.
5th or 6th tea.
So,
That didn't sound
as I was
good.
saying, anyway, once you have like 2 or 3 cups of tea, like, do you know what? That are not made to how you want your tea. It ain't getting any more. Oh. You can't drink it very long.
Because what you start doing is you start...
Is this decaf?
No.
I'm going to be bounced off. You do realise I only drink decaf mine as well?
Normally I do too for the ticker.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never ever called my heart the ticker ever.
We're
in my
all
life.
no. It's our
Oh,
ticker.
it's my ticker.
It's my
It's my lifeline. It's my when's it gonna go? I've only got that long. It's a clock, really, isn't it?
Oh Jesus! Wow.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever thought of your heart as a clock?
No.
Like your clock will stop one day.
It's my art.
It's my heart.
It's my art there.
Oh god. Anyway, what are we doing?
Fucking hell. I thought we were gonna have a serious conversation today.
We actually are, which is why the intro was so stupid and silly.
Yeah, because it was like
we're gonna suddenly go tea for two.
Ooh. So good.
You know, in the cinema
everyone.
when it goes zoo.
Oh, that was nice.
Thank you. That was really good, wasn't it?
I like that.
Voice actor available for all kinds of work. Thank you.
And she's cheap.
Don't say that. I am.
You are though.
As in, if it's paid, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, there's a lot of free
Give
work going
her
on.
20 quid and a pack of crisps. She's a. Basically, we were going to start talking about something that's close to our tickers.
Tickers.
In the fact of...
Chocolate. So
with the biscuits. It's January. We're going into times now where it's going to be really difficult for venues, music venues, and just a lot of people in the creative industry.
yeah, it's the dead period, isn't it?
Yeah,
Of,
I know. It's just like January's always the dead month, isn't it?
I think for everyone possibly, but I think normal people maybe go back to work, so at least
Normal
they're
people
back
just
into a routine.
Yeah, they just go back to work and they get a paycheck at the end of the month.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say with creative people or self-employed people specifically, Panto's finished. The acting work's already been cast in November for people starting in February or January. So if you're on Panto, you've missed out on that. So you're not going straight into another job.
No.
And also, like, for music, not many people release in January because I feel like they've spent their year releasing things and it's almost like a break to write and go, what am I doing this year with all my releases?
It's actually really weird that I've had a conversation with a couple of people before, mainly around radio, that actually it's pretty decent to get your music out in January because you have more chance of it going on the radio because it's less competition.
Yeah. But why is that though? Because really, for musicians, time isn't linear in that way, is it? We don't think of it as a 12-month thing. We think of it as a continuous, like, life of releasing music.
I still don't understand. It might be a financial thing. So that people are like, oh, well,
possible.
you know, it comes to October, you start buying your presents, you don't want to go in the studio and record. And
Halloween, you start buying the expensive drinks.
Exactly.
Type of vibes.
And then you get to Christmas and you're like, oh, well, I've only got really like a week to get something onto distribution.
Yeah, or you've been concentrating on some sort of Christmas project.
Yes.
Because it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas.
So then by, like me now, after run, I'm like,
What do I do?
yeah, it's exhausting.
So
you've got to always think 10 months ahead, really. No, 3-4 months ahead, I'd say.
I think if you can plan a year in advance, you're brilliant.
That's
you've
what we
nailed
did.
it. But that's, exactly, that's what we did.
Yeah, because I went to you with Gold when he was in his preliminary bit before all of the cool stuff got added to it. Gold, I even showed you October with the headphones on.
You gave me 3.
3, and you went, and I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I don't know whether to release this as an EP, and you went, oh, you've got your year mapped out.
Yeah.
And immediately the pressure went, oh yeah, I can just spread it out.
I was like, you've got Gold, pretty all right, October.
And then
done.
Run came out of nowhere, which was
and
lovely.
then Run was just an extra bonus, wasn't it? It was a nice bonus at the end of the year.
But yeah, I forgot about that. We met probably in about Jan, Feb, I reckon, when I was back from Panto.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah.
Like I'm kind of lucky that venues still book me for January.
Well, it's because you're good.
Which is, well, thanks. I'm lucky in a way that venues will carry on with it because they see it as, right, if we stop now, then people are going to be like, well, they're not having one now on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday.
It's the regulars who lose.
Oh, well, we're not going to go next week. So they try their best to keep it up. But there are venues that are hit or miss. Like, I can go there and there'd be like 2 or 3 people there as I'm loading in.
But the good thing about those gigs is that they are the ones that they pay you regardless.
Yeah.
Which brings us on to the topic of, I think the venues we're talking about really aren't the local ones where you've got your reliable people coming through the door. There may be your grassroots music venues who are relying on putting on gigs people want to see and that people will pay money go into the door to ensure it even happens, like the gig.
I've seen this year, I think it came about probably in December time, for venues that are offering like free hire. And I'm like, whoa, this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Really? Is that bad? Like, they don't
and I was just like, people have gone, right, so back in December, they were like, right, January, you let us know, you can come in, you can have the room for free, we'll even chuck in an engineer. And I'm like...
They give you an engineer as well?
Like, literally, you can have their old service, and they're like, it's just for January, though. They're just trying to get people through the door. Yeah,
because people are, as we've said about the actual people making the music in January, people are skint after Christmas.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to gigs.
It's a difficult time to put on original music then. Like I'm lucky.
Not so much maybe.
I'm lucky because I've got the cover. I've always got the covers to fall back on, so I'm always performing. Always got money coming in. It's not an issue. But then me as a songwriter and someone who wants to be performing my music all the time,
your original music as well.
You know, performing that stuff rather than the covers all the time. I'm taking a look now into the rest of the year going, I haven't got any chance in hell of saying, right, I'm going to stop cover gigs and just do original.
No, if you want to make money consistently, no.
Heck no.
No.
Absolutely not a chance in hell.
I think what's not adding up is you've got the grassroots music venues issues happening, which they probably always have happened, but I'm more in the world now, so I'm getting it now.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I understand. Mm-hmm. I understand the reasons for what's happening now more.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is people are releasing original music and they're not seeing the money back from that. So they're relying on the grassroots venues to let them gig there with their original music. Yeah. But that's not bringing people in. Nope. And it doesn't mean you're a bad songwriter. It doesn't mean you're a bad musician. It just means you can't get the numbers through the door. Like, I'm absolutely I know I am, a level of privilege just because of the fact that I know if I do a gig in Cardiff, I know I can get at least 5 to 10 people there. I know I can. Yeah. Because they're legends and my friends. And if anything, they want to see me for a night out afterwards. Yeah. You know, like, and I'll make time for them. I also know if I do it in the valleys, my family are 10 to 15 people on a bare minimum, you know. And arguably that's not going to forward my career necessarily, because all these people already know I exist and they just go into support in a different way.
Yeah.
Which is why then I need to be able to go to places like Bristol, London, Liverpool. I need to be able to gig there and get people through the door. But you're only going to do that if you put on lineups with these huge bands and stuff. And the huge bands are not doing those venues anymore because they're just waiting for festivals and writing for the rest of the year, because that's what makes them the money.
Yeah, you are. You're literally going round and round.
Something's got to give,
like 10 years. Well, it's probably 10 years ago. I started releasing, probably professionally, my own stuff.
10 years. God, you're so. Sorry, clearly I've got a problem with age.
You have.
I have, because I make
I'm
jokes
always
about it.
Old, and I'm like, how old are you? 28. 28. How old am I? 29.
Mentally, I'm 12.
Fucking hell.
Please have the sugar.
You need sugar now, do you?
Struggling with this. It's like tar.
Well, try and have one like that.
Look
at that.
In.
Can anyone see that? Anyone?
It's black.
Look at that.
Absolutely disgusting. I need a posh £4,000 machine, see, to make a good coffee. If you tell me to make a coffee with a kettle, I can't do it.
Why?
Because I don't get the balance right with the coffee. I know it says it on the tin.
No, that has nothing to do with that. That is a fact of you shoved it in my cup and had all the milk yourself. Keep any of your things out of my mug.
Okay.
Thank you. Diolch.
See, we are trying. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much.
Oh, that is strong.
It's a strong coffee.
I'm going to be bouncing. I'm absolutely bouncing.
I'm not going to sleep after this. Because of the topics we're talking about. Not because... No,
oh, do you know what? That's enough to keep you up at night.
Yeah, honestly.
As tune, I want to start putting on more regular gigs. So we've done a lot. Yeah. We've done a lot in Newbridge Memo.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We tried to put original stuff on. The community didn't want it, really. They didn't support it.
As in original music?
Original music. Yeah. Didn't support it. They're not fussed.
They want the covers, didn't they?
And then we put on tribute bands.
Yeah.
Half of them will decide to turn up. Half of them, like, I didn't even know what was happening. And it's such a shame because I love the people working at Newbridge Memo. Yeah. They've got a great bunch of people working there.
It's an incredible venue, and
they will do anything for the community, anything for like creatives that go there. And
well, we are going to see Kerry Ellis.
We're going to see Kerry Ellis
on the 10th of January.
Yeah, which this is probably already out by.
Yeah, so we've seen her and she's amazing.
Amazing.
It was the best gig of my life ever. We know this because I've seen her live before. She's flipping brilliant. Anyway, I remember going to the Newbridge Memo to meet you, just to have like, what were we doing? We were planning for Radio Wigwam or something with we Jammer.
Yeah, we've done loads.
For the session or whatever. So I went and saw you there. It was the first time I'd ever been there. I couldn't believe how beautiful the interior was. It was done out really nicely. It's a coffee shop there, library. It's a huge building with so many rooms that could do so many different things. And we just went up to the box office, and because you're involved with the building and Two Media's a thing, and they knew that I was an artist, because you were like, this is Caitlin, we work with her. The guy was like, oh, let's try and get you staff discounts off the tickets. Yeah. I think it's okay to say that, is it?
I don't know. Well, we have now. Thanks, Jay.
I didn't check. Thank you. Who? What?
Jay.
Jay. Thank you, Jay. Kerry Ellis was amazing. But what I'm saying is, it's kindness like that makes people, because now I would think, not because they gave me a discount anyway, but like, yeah, I'd go, oh, they were really nice to me there, so I'd go back and I'd try and do my own gig and I'd get the people in for them. Yeah, exactly. Because they treated me well when I was there, just on a like formal business capacity. I wasn't even gigging, I just went and met you for a chat. Basically this, before it became this. Yeah. Admin. They are superb, but we're struggling, basically. We're struggling to do the tributes, get people through the door. I have lost hundreds, maybe even into the thousands of money from these events that the community, they don't care because it doesn't bother them. And that's fine. Like, everyone's got their own life and whatever. But it's frustrating, isn't it, watching those people spend £300 on Oasis tickets in Cardiff when they won't go and support their local venue.
They won't support that, and the fact of when we ask them what they want rock bands, original music, tributes. Give everything on the plate for them, and not bothered. So, unfortunately, we've had to scale back what we're doing there next year. So my idea was, okay, I'm going to go into these grassroots venues, put on nights for tunes, so then it's kind of, we're inviting more artists around. But I'm panicking now to the fact of, are these venues going to be around?
Yeah.
How are we going to do financially? We can't make it free because we make nothing. I lose out money personally. The company lose out money then.
Yeah.
Then we're going to charge. Are the public then going to come to that gig if we do charge?
Are they going to buy their tickets in advance?
Are they going to buy them in advance? Because if we don't cover a certain amount of the money that we've already spent out, or the projected money that we're going to spend,
like a percentage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like usually I'm like, if I've covered a half of what it's going to cost me by maybe 2-3 weeks before the event, I could be like, oh, okay, we'll be all right, yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's like, oh, we sold out 2 tickets, 3 tickets. And I'm like, well, the event can't go on then.
That's what happened to Elysium.
Yeah.
With us.
Like, that was an insane lineup. And we had 3 tickets sold.
3 tickets, and you marketed it as a Tune Media Welsh A-list night.
Yeah.
Now, if Welsh A-listers, whatever that even means, do you know what I mean? Like, if Welsh A-listers can't get people to a music venue with the headliner being from Swansea, and that venue being in Swansea, there's not much hope, really.
No.
Is there?
That really was a nail in the coffin last year, because I was
that
kind
one
of
hurt a bit when you messaged us to be like, sorry guys. We were like, oh.
I was like, by the time, and also another thing that we've forgotten in all of this, what about these artists? Are we paying these artists?
Oh God, no. This is just, we're just talking about. No. The amount, well, you'll know because Tune Media booked it for me basically and helped me with the emailing and all that stuff. Most of the gigs I played on my tour, which is my tour, but you know, were free. I ended up with travel and paying Josh, my guitarist, yada yada yada. Yeah. They ended up being, I was paying to play in those venues, and in some of them that did pop off and had loads of people there, I knew that they were making more money on, like, I was, you know, when you're singing, sometimes it's so bad in it. I'd be singing a song like that, and I look at Josh if it's like a big packed out venue, knowing that I'm getting a free drink and travel covered or whatever. And I'll be like singing like Night Bus Reckless, and I'm looking around at maybe like 2 or 3 tables that have sat. I'm going, if a drink costs, let's argue in a venue, 7 to 8 quid if you're having like a pint or a, you know, a gin or whatever. I'm looking around that table of 15 people and I'm going, just that one round of drinks would have really helped me out if I got paid for that.
Exactly.
But I understand that is maybe the venue's only profit. So if you've got 3 or 4 people on the bill, you can't afford to pay those artists a round of drinks each because that is your night. Yeah. So it's like, well, wait, what? What is
the answer? What is the answer? Because we want venues to succeed. We want artists to be paid, and we want venues packed out with the public and the communities.
I think like everything. This is maybe a boring answer, but I think the education of it is important. Like, until I did my tour here, my family didn't really, I mean, they switched on and they understand my industry is hard to make it in and all those things. Yeah. But when I literally talked to them about, like, on the WhatsApp group, please buy tickets now for my gig in 3 weeks' time, and they're all going, oh yeah, you know I'll be there. And I'm like, no, but can you actually buy the ticket like now, because I'm relying on you as the people who are going to make the event actually happen, because we'll know you're turning up. I had people in my first London gig, this is so cringe to say out loud, but it's the absolute truth. I had people in the first London gig that I did recently of the tour. I was meant to do 3. I cancelled the last one because I was like, I can't afford to. I literally can't afford to do the last one.
Exactly.
The second one was fine. Like, there's a few more people on the bill. I think I got £50 instead of 30.
Which, again, like you said, half went to Josh.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's my problem, but, you know, it is still a split. Yeah. But the first one, I was so desperate to meet the, what's the word they use? You have to meet the calibre of, like, selling 10 tickets. Is it calibre?
Yeah. I suppose
meet
threshold.
Threshold criteria, whatever.
Yeah.
I had to sell 10 in order for them to allow me to play the second one. So I had the pressure on me of like, you have to sell 10 tickets. And I was like, I can't. I was like, I've literally messaged every single person I know in London and they are not free on that night. My creative friends, I've got loads of friends in London, really luckily, but they're all doing the same as me. So lots of them who are musicians are like, oh, I'm gigging, sorry. You can't say, well...
I'm gigging and I'm a struggling musician or actor and I can't
afford to come and see you play because it's £10 a ticket and you're only on for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is like
it's
cute.
Insane.
You know what I mean?
It's insane.
So that's what the promotional people in London are doing, and it's stressful because you then turn in your artists into their own managers, which you are anyway, but there's more pressure then. And the thing that was embarrassing that I was going to say is some of my friends who couldn't come realised that I was like, no, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play then because I just can't sell enough tickets. And I told one or two of them, and I said, you know what, if it gets to it, mate, I'm going to buy the remainder of, like, I think there's like 4 or 3 tickets left for me to meet 10. So I was like, it is what it is. I'll pay the 50 quid extra to be able to do the bloody gig and to do the next one then, because it guaranteed me the second one, which I knew with Josh's friends I could get people to.
Yeah.
They ended up messaging me back going, bought a ticket anyway for you. It would have been what would have cost me to have a drink there or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that kindness is unbelievable because they did not need to do that. It was Christmas time, everyone's skint. And like, I felt absolute guilt then. I was like, I've asked you to come to my gig because I actually want to see you.
I want to see you, and I want to
because I don't see
play
you
for you, like sort of thing.
Yeah, and I want you to see me doing my original stuff.
Yeah.
And they've gone, can't come, and I've gone, don't worry about it. And they've messaged back going, tell you what, mate, don't want you to miss out on a gig. I bought a ticket anyway.
Yeah.
Just randomly spent £10 a ticket for me for no, like, it makes you feel like a charity then. You're like, oh my god, that's absolutely cringe.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you've got
some
some people then that won't even come and watch you for free. Like, I can't bother.
Or you put them, if there's a guest list for free, you go out your way to email, organise all the names, and you go, right, I want these 5 people on guest list, and they don't turn up because it's free.
Turn up. Yeah, no.
It's like, babe, that's really rude.
It is.
If I was on a guest list for somebody for free and I knew I couldn't come, I'd give them as much notice as possible to be like, don't need to spend, one person isn't there and I'm really sorry and yada yada yada. Do you want me to buy a t-shirt or buy a CD to make up for it, for the hassle you had to go through, plus trying to think of your set?
Yeah, there was I'm sure back in the day I've had multiple conversations with loads of promoters.
Yeah,
and they used to do multiple people on the lineup, and then the audience would say who they were there for.
I've been in a few of those situations,
and then the bands then would get that percentage paid to them. Then for me, exactly, there's a reason why people stop doing that. Because say if I knew, right, say you were on the lineup, Katie Lou was on the lineup, Katie Lou, and Callum Richards. So we all know each other, don't we? Right? Callum.
I have to do it again. It's like, it don't make sense. I'll do it again.
So you 3 are on the lineup. I know you all. And
we're all from different areas.
And ish. Yeah, but pretty much, yeah. And I go out the door and they're like, oh, you're here to see? And I'm like, all of them. They were like, no. You need to tell me who you're here to see, because your fee or your percentage of your tickets...
10% of your £15
will be going to that artist. But no.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about it for the obvious reasons of, if I'm on a lineup with a band of 4 people... Oh no, but that doesn't... Well, I guess that makes sense because I get split between them 4 ways.
They would always get more anyway.
Yeah.
There's got to be some ways, and I know loads of people who've got ideas about how to do all this, but there's got to be a way that everyone gets paid fairly. But the biggest thing is the public turning up to these gigs.
I know. And instead of going to your local Wetherspoons, just go somewhere where there's somebody playing.
If there's a ticket for a £5,
just go.
Right, most of these places now, right, there is like, it's a £3 for a pint can, or maybe £4 for a pint. Get it, have 1 or 2 drinks, buy a ticket, get a taxi home. That's like 20 quid, 30 quid max.
50 probably.
Where are you getting this fucking taxi from?
I'm thinking about Cardiff now.
I'm not thinking about Cardiff.
No, you're thinking.
I'm on about communities.
Yeah,
Cardiff,
that's important, isn't it?
Cardiff is not a community.
It's not, is it?
I'm talking about Gwent Valleys, Caerphilly, Caerphilly, Borough,
Brecon.
you got your Mid Wales, you've got your Rhondda Valleys, you've got all these places
where people can afford to go and support people, actually. You know?
Yeah, because you're not going to get a £5 ticket in Cardiff.
No.
So
Absolutely
£5 ticket,
not, no.
right, for a local artist. You might find someone new that you've never seen before.
On the lineup,
for example, when you come to do my gig in News Memo, there was a lot of people there that never seen you.
Never ever.
Because they come to watch me.
There was actually somebody...
And literally, my family haven't shut up talking about you.
Ah, that's probably done your absolute head in.
She's amazing. She's amazing. Oh my God, she's got a great voice.
Aww.
And I'm like, fuck, yeah, I know that. Why do you think I work with her?
Oh, and also you're probably like, yeah, that's why I brought her in, because she's a good artist and reliable and beautiful. And tell me more, Kaysha, tell me more.
You know.
No, but
your head won't fucking fit out of there.
I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think, you know, with the moon closing, I think it's maybe time to talk about the fact that venues that are struggling need to be open. Weirdly, I know, because I work in Club Bont at the moment. That's technically a grassroots music venue, and they only open Thursday to Sunday.
Yep.
And actually, I don't think they do open on a Sunday. So they're doing 3 days/nights a week, which isn't enough. Like, no. Because they relying then on getting people in the doors on those days, which is cutting. But then, you know, it's
like I couldn't go to a gig there because I'd be working.
Exactly.
But if something was on like on a Tuesday night, maybe
you go.
I'd be like, oh, cool, there's a gig on. Let's go.
I can't go because now I'm working the event. So I'm like pouring a Guinness, going, I'm trying to. Okay,
one watching.
One. But the point there was, and I think we briefly talked about it before coming on today's pod, is venues need to be versatile to survive. And maybe that is the way to do the gigs that don't make the money or don't have the people coming through the doors, which feels stupid to say as a business decision. But I'm an actor, right? I'd absolutely kill to go to the Newbridge Memo and go, I can't do a gig here this month because I've got any music coming out or whatever. Don't want to do it at the loss. But actually, what I'm happy to do is, if you can give me that room, because I know there's loads of rooms in there, that room there with the mirror, I'm going to need to practice my dance, my monologues and my other stuff. So can you charge me like a decent amount for that for like, let's say once a week for the next month? And then with that money, I could even put that money in to do my own gig there or help, or like, I don't know how you do it, but there's these venues are like, they're just closed.
Exactly.
It's like, and that doesn't look good from the outside as well.
Of course it doesn't.
Like Club Bont, to be fair, they do open now and again, and they have like, they'll have a yoga class upstairs, like a seated.
That's what we've said. They are multi-purpose spaces.
Yeah.
And the reason why Newbridge Memo, again, I know because I'm there and I'm friends with a lot of managers and that are there.
Yeah.
They've got everything there. They got like rock fits, they got like dance classes, they got older
it's a leisure centre, it's a library, it's a coffee shop.
There's loads of dance stuff that goes on there. There's shows, but there's not just rock shows. There's rocks, there's theatre, there's so much on. If they didn't do that and they were just a strict music venue, they would have been closed years ago.
Yeah.
There are so many.
They do like Christmas fairs there and stuff, don't they? And like all sorts of things. Yeah, markets and
stuff. There are so many great ideas that these other venues need to take. Like the Moon. All right, it was a little bit awkward, the setup of it, and the stage probably wasn't ideal.
Quirky,
but it is a bit quirky, wasn't it? It was quirky.
Yeah.
But you could have
You remember playing that venue.
Yeah,
you're not just on a square stage in a square room. Like you remember, you're like, oh, the ramp and it adds that character to it. I liked it.
You could have there could have been meetings there, people could have met, like groups could have met for like script reads and filming, self-tapes, anything. Yeah. Like the amount of actors I know that need to hire a room for not even a long time, hour or two. Yeah. And they need to go, right, I've just got a bar scene to film for my show reel. I'll pay you 20-30 quid. There's also
20-30 quid is more than they would make on the amount of people coming in for a £3 gig.
Yes.
In 2 hours.
Yeah.
Without paying staff.
And there's exactly. There are ways of doing it. So I understand people are going, right, we got to make money. This charge £50 an hour to hire the space. And you're like, mate,
nobody can afford that.
And I'm like, come on, there's gotta be a middle ground of going, right, okay, we'll charge this much if you're gonna be doing it consistently. Or we're going to drop our fees for people that are in creative industries. Yeah. Maybe people who are more well off.
Yes,
established
if
companies.
Admiral want to come and do their works do one night, charge them a few £100 and make some money from them, so that you can give the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama students a place to rehearse.
Yeah,
for a day.
Exactly.
Like try and go.
Yeah, it could. Hey. There are ways of doing it, and I know people like at the memo with Ali, because Ali's creative herself, so she understands that need of giving.
That like give and take thing. Yeah.
But there are
community
venues
building. There's community.
There are venues out there will try and rip everyone off, and then be like, "Well, it didn't work." I'm like, "Well, what do you expect?"
Yeah, you give no help. Also, you didn't promote my gig when I paid you more money to promote
Posting on the day saying we've got so and so here tonight.
Not good enough.
Well, that is not going to help, is it?
No.
I need 4 or 5 months in advance. If I'm going to... Again, if these gigs are going to be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday, I need to know 4, 5, 6 months in advance so I can go, I'll have a night off.
Start pushing it.
But I'll have a night off.
Yeah.
And I'll go.
Yeah.
Because the most people that go to these events are creative people.
And it's baffling, isn't it? Because, like we've said, creative people need to be planning in advance themselves, like because they're gigging. So why are the venues not doing that? Because if I get told, like, one of my favourite bands is Angel Hotel, because I'm friends with Sean and Caris, and also I genuinely really love their music, like indie rock stuff. It's a bit of Big Wednesday for me, do you know what I mean? It's like, what that could have been. But I love their stuff and I want to support them, but most of the time it's like, oh, we're playing tomorrow in Club Evo Bach, and I'm like, what do you mean? But
you could have told me a few months ago.
Yeah, and it's not their fault, because I know that it's like the venue not pushing and not giving them a date, and there's just so much politics involved in.
And these venues will be like, well, we're not going to post anything. Please don't post anything until we've done this gig and this gig and this gig and this gig.
And you can't gig within 10 days in the same place.
And I'm like,
that is
like, I don't mind that sort of stuff, because like I agree with that in a certain extent. When I book tribute acts, I don't want another tribute
in the park and day the next week.
Yeah. And that is, that is fine. I understand that. But if you've got Joe Bloggs on like a support in the memo on, I don't know, in January, but then he wants to go to like Blackwood,
fine,
in February on another lineup, fucking crack on.
Yeah, great.
It's not hurting anyone.
No,
most people will probably go both, and it's only like a couple of quid a ticket, £5 a ticket, which that's completely fine. Yeah. But there's got to be, for me anyway, there's got to be a way for all of them to work together. And you said it earlier, talking about it, so venues know what our point of views are
and what we need.
Support. Yeah.
Because also different people gigging will need different things.
Yeah, of course they will.
Some artists are better at social media than the venues themselves.
Like
I'm one of them.
I would personally say to
it's
a
like,
venue,
why have you not put anything on your story and tagged me today? Are you joking?
Yeah.
Like, you've got 8,000 followers and I've got 3, but I'm doing more on social media than you. That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Do you want me to sell tickets for your venue? Because I'm trying.
And that would be one thing that I would say to a venue.
Wouldn't reshare something of me outside.
No, I know.
I'm playing here tonight to tag them. It's like, oh, sorry, nobody's on socials tonight. It's like, what do you mean nobody's on socials?
No, someone should be on socials.
Oh my God.
All the time.
Mike, we're in 2024. Like, you should be on TikTok now. Do you know what I mean?
The one thing I would say to a venues, but my demands would be, if I book with you 5 months in advance, I would like to release that date straight away.
And then I want you to post once a month, 5 months.
Yeah.
5 posts about my gig.
Yeah. I don't care if you're sharing the same poster.
Oh God, no, don't matter.
With multiple artists on.
Tagging them all. Hashtagging the shit out of it. Yeah.
But you cannot wait until the week before to say that we've got someone on.
No.
I get gigs get booked last minute and whatever. That's
fine.
What? Yeah. That's fine. But if I booked with you 5 months in advance, do not tell me I cannot post anything until the week before the gig.
Because it's going to affect the other gigs.
It's going to I don't give a shit. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, and also it's not going to affect the other gigs because they're on a different date with different artists.
Yeah.
So they're not going to affect it at all.
No.
And if you've got regulars who want to choose which gig to come to, well then
you've got regulars. That anyway.
You've got regulars who are going to choose which one they want to come to. Yeah. There's problems there and they need to be sorted, I think.
And I honestly just don't think it will. And I'm putting my probably like bit of realism, I suppose, kind of on it, and just be like, I don't see it happening.
No.
I'd like
We're
to
going to
be
lose venues, though.
I'd like to
already.
be positive. I really would. And I don't want to sound negative, because I don't think I'm sounding negative.
No, you're just saying
because I think I'm being real about it.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Kate Nash.
Kate Nash.
Kate Nash has obviously been in the news recently. She's selling pictures of her juicy bum on OnlyFans in order.
Told you to do that, didn't I?
I know. I make millions. In order, it's true. The sheer volume, it wouldn't fit in the frame. She's been selling pictures of her ass, basically.
Yeah.
On OnlyFans in order to pay her management and team, i.e., lighting, sound, buses to get places, all the equipment hire, everything. The whole thing that would be involved in a big tour. And this is somebody who's very much doing very well with the music. Like, she's not struggling. Like, she's had her time in the charts. She's
exactly.
back. Like, you know, everything that you would know or think of to be involved in a tour, makeup, hair, whatever. She's using that money to make sure that she pays all of her team fairly and that she doesn't lose money on tour. Because if she was to go on this tour without selling pictures of her naked behind, she would be in thousands of pounds of debt, personally and otherwise. Yeah. In terms of all the other people in her thing as well. That is
depressing as fuck.
It's so disappointing. We're not in a third world country, for God's sake. I mean, for God's sake, like. Also, Labour's in government now. Act like it. Like, you should be supporting the arts.
Come on, really?
Yeah, I know.
If we go into politics, that, you know, Labour, even in the 90s when Labour were in, they fucked the country up for years to come as well. Yeah. Then the Conservatives just dug it a little bit deeper. They're all a bunch of twats, if you ask me.
Yes, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
With a different colour over the door.
Literally.
But you know, not to get too political about it, but it is political.
But they are, all politicians are cunts. They all are.
I know.
There's one was red, one was green, someone's got yellow on, someone's got blue. Yeah. Like, honest, they're all out for themselves. And they are not going to fund any money because, one, they haven't got any, because they spent it all on piss-ups, right? They are not going to spend any money on creative.
No. When the NHS ventures. Is in its, you know. This is what
that is dying.
This is what I want to bring up really quickly. I sometimes feel, because we live in the music bubble and the creative bubble, I sometimes do feel like when I talk about things like this with like family, friends, like I get really like het up about it, and I'm like, well, where's the money for theatres? Why are the theatres shut in? That's my career. And sometimes I've been met with, not all the time, but sometimes I've been met with, I mean, it's probably not the top of their priority list, you know, to support this industry when NHS, all of the other stuff is massively underfunded and struggling. And sometimes I have to take a step back and go, actually, yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what my point of view would be on that?
Music is therapy for people and it helps mental health and all of the other things.
There we go.
It's true.
That's just saved your industry thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions for people like myself. I've made no shame about it, that are on sertraline, antidepressants and anxiety medicine, right? If God forbid music was taken away from me,
oh my God, you'd be dead.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, I know.
I'd find the nearest bridge or whatever, train track.
Go for a swim.
But I'm off.
Yeah. No, I think there is definitely, I would love, there probably are figures out there, aren't there, of like the amount of lives that have been saved by creative arts.
God, of course it is.
And like we all know, it's
that outlet, that something just keeps you, that bright spark. You know, you go out with friends, you see friends. What do you normally do? You go out and watch, go to a gig, you go to theatre. What about all of these just stripped away from you now? Well, there's no venues, there's no actors, there's no musicians.
Films, cinema, like it covered text, like writers, stories, everything. It's escape, isn't it? Yeah. But like, I think the thing that really made that evident was COVID.
Imagine your life now, right? Without
it wouldn't be
any of that creative stuff.
No.
You'd be working a 9 to 5 in an office or a factory. Right? You'd get up in the morning.
Office. Come on now.
You would be office. I'd be in a factory.
I want to wear a blazer.
I'd be in my overalls. on the factory floor.
In the mines.
You know,
Down the pit.
I'd be down.
You'd have a torch on your head.
I'd be down the pit.
Yeah.
You fucking wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Fuck off.
I'd hold the doors with a
Imagine-
16-year-old.
Imagine all the coal and dust under
Oh,
your
yeah, no, I'd
nails.
never be able to sing. Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Not
come on
man.
now.
Not man. So you would wake up in the morning, right? You wouldn't be able to listen to radio.
Yeah, do you know what's
Music.
great? Going through the day like you're doing now and realising, for the average person, not for us, because we search for it. I've been listening to
Yeah.
a podcast on the way, all that stuff.
You wouldn't put the telly on.
No telly, no music,
No radio, nothing. So you would just wake up.
Silence.
You'd put your stuff on.
Maybe you wouldn't even put clothes on because your clothes have been designed by people.
There we go.
I don't think people understand like the depths of it. It's not just two singers going, we don't get enough money to sing.
No.
It's not that.
No.
But I wanted to say that out loud because sometimes I do, like we've gone full circle with the family and stuff. Sometimes I'm like, I know what you're saying about the NHS.
Yeah.
And like, please I don't want this to come across as like, you know, stamping my foot and going, I want to do Shakespeare on my local stage to show off and everyone can tell me how good I am.
I don't give a
It's
shit
not
about
that.
all them people dying.
It is that. I'd love to do Shakespeare in the park, and thank you. But like,
Oh,
it's
me.
yeah,
I would.
great. Macbeth or something.
Ooh,
The Scottish play, if you're there. You can't say Macbeth, can you?
No.
Not in the theatre.
In the theatre, yeah.
But you
Romeo
know,
and Juliet,
mm,
the nurse.
yeah.
Great.
But also like people like Kieran Bailey, one of my best friends,
Yeah.
right? Just I know that he'll listen to this. He
You
won't listen to this.
you probably go fucking end.
Best
Go on
friend,
about.
lol. But he wrote about his community, and it was called Turn the Wheel. Right? It's a musical. I was in it. It packed the Park and Day out for 4 nights because people went to listen to the songs, to support Kieran and the rest of the cast who were all local pretty much.
Yeah.
And the Park and Day's never been so full. And the kind of people in power were like, oh God. Like, well, they wanted that. We've actually sold tickets to that. Kieran's like, yeah, because I busted my gut. I've written a musical from scratch, all about the Rhondda and the Italian community in the valleys. It's beautiful music. The characters are brilliant. Like, it's kind of like the Gavin and Stacey, I think, of the Rhondda back then.
Yeah.
Like, it's brilliant. It's about 2 families coming together. Like, there's cultural differences and similarities and stuff like that. And he sold it out. And nobody could believe, right? Nobody could believe that they didn't give him more money and more funding to do at least a week there, if not more. Because honestly, that would have sold out. We had like waiting lists of hundreds of people ringing the Park and Day. More tickets, no. They didn't open the gods in the Park and Day because they couldn't have extra staff. They couldn't afford
Extra staff.
the extra staff to
What about
man
all
it.
the extra ticket money?
They didn't open the bar, Kaysha. The bar was closed after the show.
And how many does it hold, Park and Day?
Oh my God, I've got no idea. At least 800, I'd assume. It's a big venue, like. And it was sold out. Like, you could not, I promise you, I've never seen anything like it in this part of my life, if you like.
Yeah.
When I was younger, things used to sell, right? You know, the local amateur dramatics used to sell the
Yeah,
big
of course,
musicals
got
once a year. But it was like, it came out of nowhere for some people. They were like, oh my gosh. And people were going, oh, I thought I could just rock up and get a ticket. It's like, no, babe. Like, buy a ticket beforehand so you don't get disappointed. And then the people who did come, I was really sad for them because you're talking about mental health and things like that. That story, you know, dealt with minors' deaths. I played a character called Mary Bevan. She died of tuberculosis, or is that? Yeah, TB. So she died just before the interval. It was kind of a Les Mis type of vibe, you know, like they was kind of dying off and singing big songs, and it was really emotional. And it was about the people who were watching the show in the place it was based in.
Everyone could recognise someone, either themselves or their family.
Yeah. And the thing I
that.
couldn't believe actually was, you were telling me you couldn't have had 1 or 2 extra staff on, probably more like 4, let's be honest. But like, you couldn't have paid them an extra hour or 2 for the community to use the building on the night that it was packed out, to go and sit and have a pint afterwards and talk about what they've seen. God. Everyone had to finish that show and go home. And like, it was not necessarily a sad ending, or, you know, I don't think people were going to go and jump off a cliff after seeing it. Yeah. But it's important to have those debriefs.
They could have sat for half an hour. They probably would have made $4,000 on the bar.
They would have
minimum.
Yeah, they would have been queues at the bar. Like, like even I think at that point, even having 2 members of staff on the bar and having a slow bar for an hour after the show, people would have appreciated it being open. What ended up happening is Kieran took charge and he went, right, everyone over to the Lion, Treorchy. And Adrian, who's in charge of Lion, great guy, like really, really heavily involved in the community and making sure his pub is a place where everyone can go and sit, have a laugh. He does TikToks now of the like Lion challenge. He's like
nice.
gone viral. Yeah, he's class. We all went there. So the Lion was packed and people talked there, but there were also other people who hadn't seen the show in there, and it was a bit of a mixed, it was a bit like, oh, now, you know, where do I go in this pub? Because there's a bit of a mixed, you know, vibe. The fact that you can't go to a theatre locally now, before a show, more than an hour before a show, to sit and like enjoy the building and to spend money at the bar, because they're just opening half an hour before. The actors are all in and stuff, they lock up, they'll open before the doors. And then as soon as you see a show locally now, it's like, right, everyone out there, quickly, council run, get out. We haven't got like the budget to keep it open. Oh my God, it absolutely boils my blood. I'm like, so even when you can do an event and you can fill out one of these beautiful old buildings, miners' halls, community church, whatever, the people are not welcome to stay if they've actually bothered to buy a ticket in advance and make a thing of it and turn up and support. No wonder people are not doing it, because there's no place for them after or before.
Exactly.
It's like, oh wow.
And these venues going like, we're struggling financially, we're really struggling. Well, you've probably missed out on 4 or 5 grand
Easily.
before and after the show.
In the valleys as well.
Exactly.
Having a pint after.
Exactly.
At least 2 per person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it absolutely boils my blood.
Like I went to see Panto in the Memo at Christmas time.
Was it Aladdin?
No, Alice in Wonderland, but it was Alice
nice.
Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So it's like original script, which is always cool. Rubber Chickens always do a funny play.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of girls there, bottle of wine from bar. They bought a bottle of wine. Couple of guys then, like multiple bottles of beer, or pints or whatever. And I'm like, if they hadn't opened, it would have been uproar.
Yeah. Or then you've got to
Absolutely.
deal with people bringing drinks to have afterwards and hanging around, and then them getting in trouble for drinking on the premises.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just talking about drinks, snacks. Like, people just need a place to gather.
We had like crisps, chocolate, and all that. Another thing as well is, why don't venues do food at half time?
It's just ice cream, isn't it? If you're lucky.
And I'm like, oh. Like, extend intervals
Even
by
by
10.
5,
Yeah,
10.
even 5, 10.
It's normally 15, 20 in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it half an hour, right?
Get a burger van.
Anything. Right? Especially a lot of these places where you've got, obviously, the show in one part, and then you either got, like, a cafe or a separate room.
Yeah.
Put something out, whether it's chips, curry.
Corn and
Like,
chips.
Do you know, like, what? Have you ever obviously go to, like, rugby clubs during the Six Nations?
No.
Right? So, during the Six Nations, round a lot of the venues now, round by me, they will, half time, they'll be curry and chips or curry and rice.
Nice.
You don't pay. It's usually free that the pub or whatever will do it. But imagine if you go, I don't know, 4, 5 quid for a bit of curry and rice half time.
3, 4 quid even.
Fucking happy days. You got most of these venues around here, Memo for example, 300, 400 seat there. Imagine parking day to that. Bit of food, bit of drink. You've just made your, like again we'll be saying, multi-purpose. If you do food and drink, it is a lot easier to be able to afford to do music.
Even pick a mix in places now.
Exactly.
The kids who turn up for Panto, who have a pick a mix bag in the interval even.
Yeah.
You know, pound a bag, little tiny sweets. Easy.
There's so many. And we could
actually go on and on about this.
We could go
on.
on.
What we should do is invite some venue owners in and have a discussion about it and be like, what are you doing?
I was going to say, yeah.
We might get some gigs out of it too.
Right. What I want to know is if anyone's in the music industry, venue owners, promoters, artists, anyone have
in charge of community centres. I've got a friend tomorrow who might be able to come on.
Do you run a venue?
Do you organise events?
Just let us know your point of view.
Yeah.
Either voice note us or send us a message on
arrange
socials.
to come in.
Or if you really want to come in on the pod to speak about it, then drop us a message and we'll get you in. Because, like I said, we're very, I wouldn't say, we're not quite one-sided. So
no, we're coming from one point of view because we're performers ultimately, and you're an event organizer.
Yeah, so it's from the promoter and performer side.
Yeah.
Like, we would want to know more maybe about venues themselves. If you were running a venue.
And what you are, like, we're saying this needs to be this, and it's easy for us because we're not doing this.
We have a certain understanding about, you know, like the tax or the rent and all those sides of things. Mm-hmm. We understand that.
Yeah.
But we want you to come on in and we can have a...
And what out of everything is breaking you back? What are you worried about the most in 2025, and what's going to close your venue? Because, like, there needs to be an open discussion about it so we can all help each other.
And we want to know as well, if your venue is struggling and you think you are going to close, let us know.
Oh, please.
Because we will do our best.
Yeah.
We will do our best and we will help.
Yeah.
We'll try. We really will.
Another free gig there.
Yeah, why not? No, we do enough of them.
To save the venue, I'd rather do a free gig somewhere that's going to help save a venue than a free gig somewhere that's making lots of money on alcohol and not paying the artist.
Like, if you were making $4-5 profit on a night, and you're not paying your artist, you can fuck off. But if you are really, really struggling, we'll do it. We know loads of artist friends. We can call in favours.
Oh yeah,
we'll help you out. No problem at all.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't
a favour for a bag of quavers, like.
On that note, guys and girls, and gays and theys,
and all of those in between,
and whatever you identify as, I hope 2025 is fantastic for you, and we shall see you
at a gig
if the venue hasn't closed.